Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Ian is a Weirdo or Ian is Weird, depending on where you're watching this from. Streaming on both channels, and I'm gonna try to stick to a schedule for once because I always have ideas and then I don't follow through. So we're gonna see how this goes, and hopefully we have a good time doing it. That's the whole point. So today I'm gonna be asking you some questions to see how well you know me, and the questions are in the description. If you are watching the replay, try to answer the questions before you see the answers. I sorry, forgot to grab something that's one of the answers. One second, sorry, I don't plan ahead. I find this yarn that I'm going to ask about, but I need one with a label on it. And a lot of them don't have the labels. Here we go. I'm not showing you just yet. But yeah, if you're watching the replay or you're catching up, try to answer these questions that are in the description before I tell you, because I think it would be a fun little game to see how well you know me. If you get them all wrong completely, that's not a big deal. Who cares? It's just supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be like mean or competitive or anything like that. So yeah, so we're just gonna have a good time, and that's that. I'm gonna be sewing up the top for Mel. I knew that the band underneath was not going to be tight enough, so I had her try it on, and so we're going to get a better fit, so I can kind of take in some of the excess to make sure it fits just right and it holds everything where it needs to go. If you're just coming in, tell me how you're doing today. Hey Cami, welcome in. So I have some questions in the description. So if you want to try to answer them, you can answer them in your head. You can answer them in the chat, whatever you want to do. When I ask the questions uh, in the actual live, you can answer live. Whatever you want to do is okay, because standards are low around here. You know me. What are you working on, Cami? These scissors suck. Okay, so I'm going to start my sewing process. And I'm just trying to get a better fit on the bottom of this top. So let's see. I think it was 4 rows there. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Okay. So let's get this started. A shawl with 3 lightweight yarn. Oh, very nice. What yarn are you using? So I'm going to start by just sewing the dart, which will leave a little fold of fabric in the back, and then I'm going to tack that end down. But first and foremost, we're just trying to make sure that everything is where it needs to be. Karen Skinny Cakes. Very nice. I haven't tried those yet. I always look at them, but I've never committed to it. Do you like working with them? they look amazing. And honestly, sometimes I feel like the Caron cakes are just too thick, and I don't really love working with yarn that thick. So I don't generally go for that. But the skinny cakes definitely were catching my eye in a big way. So there's multiple reasons you can do something like a dart in your crochet work. One is to create a fabric that's 3D, even though you made something that's 2D, just like a sheet, and then you can kind of take it in. Another part is just kind of like general tailoring to make it a little bit tighter, better fit, what have you. So that's what I'm doing right now, is making sure that it is a better fit. I might do some adjustments where I take a more triangular dart, which is a more traditional shape for one, and just make sure that it's fitting right. But I'll probably be working on Pride stuff, not for the price of $12.99. 2 cakes on sale for 30% off. Yes, you have to get the Caron cakes unless they're just like something so special that you literally cannot wait. For me, they're only worth the price if they're on sale, personally. But some people love them. They love collecting the cakes. They love having them. And so for them, if that's your choice and your, poison, as far as it goes with collecting, then you do you. But for me, I kind of have to. They have to be on sale, or else I'm not interested. So we have a little knot here, so we're gonna undo some of that work. So Cami, if you look at the questions in the description, how well do you think you're gonna do? For the record, I'm not gonna like grade you or whatever. That's not the point of this. It's just to hang out and see how well we know each other and things like that. I think it'll be fun. I want it to be fun. I don't want it to be like a competition for who knows me best or whatever. So so yeah, I want it to be a good time, and I want everyone to enjoy it, learn a little bit about each other. In those questions that I ask, I also want to hear what your favorite things are and what you consider your favorite things. So it's not just about me today, or really ever. That's not what I want. Um, but just to get to know each other a little bit better and to have a good time. Yeah, that's always what stops me from buying the Caron cakes, though, is the sheer price. I find it very expensive. So right now I'm using the Premier Minikins cotton. I actually really like this cotton. I didn't know if I was gonna like it as much. It's very soft. It's a two-way cotton, um, and have really enjoyed using it. So, um, just kind of hoping to keep that, keep the good vibes going and create a nice Pride top for Melanie, because I want her to be comfortable, enjoy Pride, feel safe that nothing's going to pop out or anything. When I walked in the door, we're having, oh my goodness, wow, that sounds intense. I'm glad I missed that. I um I walked out into some screaming yesterday. Turns out frogs were mating yesterday when I took my dog out, and I was like, oh my lord. At first, I thought like a dog was barking, and then I heard like screaming, and I was like, geez, this is so much. So we're close to 10 minutes in, so let's get started with some questions and see how well we know each other. And like I said, feel free to share your own answers for the questions that I ask about me, but also share your personal favorites, things that you like, things that you don't like, because I think it'll be really fun. So let's get started. Sorry. Okay, that's not the best way to do it. Sorry, let me go on my phone and do it this way. The goats were not particularly annoying. Well, that's good. I know goats can go either way. Goat either way. Okay. So, this one might be easy. It might be difficult depending on which, uh, videos you've watched and stuff like that. But if you know, you definitely get a little brownie point. So, what is my favorite? This is all about crochet, crafting, things like that. Tomorrow's will be about, you know, uh, uh, kind of more personal things about me, but this is just crochet and things that I like, things that I don't like. So, what is my favorite yarn colorway? If you don't know, you can be like, I don't know, but my favorite yarn colorway is blah, blah, blah. So you can tell me what you like. You can guess what my favorite colorway is. I talk about this color all the time. All the time. In fact, I'm using it today. I use it most days. It's just my favorite. It's so pretty, and I'm obsessed with it. So if you can guess what that is, that would be cool. But if you can't guess, that's fine too. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. This is supposed to be fun and not, like, you know, there's no bad things if you just don't know the answer. But I have a favorite yarn that I use all the time that I love very dearly. Any shade of black. Oh, that is a good guess. I do like black yarn a lot. But that is not the answer. So, but you're on the right track. I know that you know me very well because, of course, I would love black yarn. Unlike, I guess, a lot of people. However, that's not quite correct. So if you see me, not including today, I'm either working on something black or I'm working on something that is blank. So what is the, can you figure out that blank? I do really like black yarn now. That's a really, 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 really good guess. And like, I don't even know what my favorite black to use is, so just saying any black yarn is appropriate. Okay, I was like, where's the little bag? Pride, exactly. So my favorite colorway, and I have a little bit of it right now, is Mexicana by Red Heart Super Saver. I always have at least one full skein of this. So I have a full skein over there, and then I have this that I'm working on my Pride top with. This creates the most beautiful rainbows. You can get it as a jumbo skein from Walmart for fairly cheap. I think it's like $9.88 or something like that. And it just is like the most beautiful. Sometimes it pulls really nicely, sometimes it stripes. Um, so it's my favorite yarn. And I really, really, really enjoy it. So that is, Cami, you pegged it immediately. Do you have a favorite colorway yourself? Or just colors that you like to use? Purple, I think. Am I right? I really don't want to be like on live and be like, I'm an idiot, but I believe that your favorite color is purple. let me know if I am mistaken. Purple, great. Do you have a purple that stands out, or purple like variegated or striped that like stands out as like your favorite? You just love using that yarn, or just anything purple? I don't understand what just happened. Just what's a yarn? What the fuck is happening? Oh, there it is. Okay. Rich deep purple. Those are amazing. I find that those are the hardest to photograph and like show on video because just like the saturation just doesn't show up on camera, but in person, wow, they really do dazzle. Great. So I think we know each other fairly well. Okay, so the next question, I think it's fairly easy if you know most of the things that I do. And but what is my favorite weight of yarn to do or to use, I should say? Where are my little sharp scissors? I don't think these are very sharp, but I'll give them a try. They cut yarn, so 4 weight. Yep. Amen. Is yours 4 weight as well? Okay, so I did my first dart, and then I sewed the back, and you can't see it. Let's see. Also, there's gonna be fringe covering this, so it doesn't have to look perfect. It just needs to fit better. Also, here is Mexicana in doubled up and used as a chain. It just looks amazing. It's so good. It's not working for this particular project, the doubled up, because it's just too thick through this thin yarn. Okay, let's see. 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah. Looks like they're all fours. Like 4 weight yarn. See? We know each other very well. Honestly, when you shop value yarn, that's pretty much those are your options. So yeah. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. It's just a fact of life. Okay, so this is a tricky question, and even though I wrote the question, I had to really think about what this answer was. So, what is my favorite hook size? This is a little bit challenging because I use a bunch of different hook sizes, also depending on the yarn, depending on the project, all of that. But can you guess what my favorite hook size is? 5.5 millimeters. That is a excellent guess, but it's wrong. So I actually prefer a 4 millimeter hook because I do a lot of amigurumi with 4 weight yarn. It's kind of my go-to size. I think my favorite hook size really does vary based on the project. So it's kind of an unfair question. So I'll literally take any answer unless you're like a 15 millimeter, which I've never even used before. So unless you answered something like that, you get the win. You're doing great so far, Cami. Okay, so let me see. If I had to guess yours, I'm gonna guess a 6 millimeter. What would you say for your favorite hook size, Cami? It's hard because I literally. Oh my gosh! Yes! Just. Awesome! Oh my gosh, that was the hook size that I almost exclusively used for a long time, and then I've decreased over time. But yes, it's a great hook size for getting stuff done fast. Great, we're doing so good, Cami. Okay, basically all I'm picking up on is that we're best friends. Okay, so what's my favorite crochet item I've ever made? Shit, can't see where I've gone because it's all the same color. The spider Halloween shawl. Oh, are you talking about the web that I made? Is that the one? I've only made one official shawl, but I've made like other things that probably could be called a shawl. But I want to make sure that's what you're talking about. Okay, I do love that. That is one of my favorite, most worn wearables. Period. This is a trick question. I do not have a favorite. Anything you could have listed other than things that I absolutely have hated that I made would have gone in there. But that is a really good guess. And it kind of makes me go, is that my favorite? I don't know. I don't know if yeah, I just don't have a favorite, but just because a lot of times I can't remember what I made, and then I'm constantly trying to push myself to make things that are more challenging and things like that. So I don't keep track of that shit. But that's great. Let's see. So I know what one of my favorite things that you've made is, but quite I don't quite know if I can guess what your favorite is, Cami. I know my favorite thing that you made was that scrap can um, yarn project that you made. Let's see. I think it was like last year. Do you know what I'm talking about? I loved the hell out of that. I thought that was so cool. So that's probably my favorite project that you've done. But what your favorite is, I could not guess. I don't even know my own. Hey Daniel, so I am asking questions. I posted them in the description below, and I'm asking some questions to see how well you know me. All these questions are crochet and craft based, so you can guess if you want to. You don't have to. If you want to, like, watch the replay of the beginning or just try to guess some of the answers before you watch the video, totally fine. Do not care. But also, I'm asking and trying to guess everyone else's favorite things. So, so it's fun. It is definitely challenging and makes me realize I know shit. The cotton scrap Afghan I made. Is that the one I'm talking about? What is it? Was it like about a year ago? I don't remember time at all. That's part of my ADHD. Um, but I just remember loving that project so much. It looked so good. Okay, I'm not quite sure this is lined up, but you know, we're doing our best. So I just asked what my favorite crochet project I've ever made is. Um, the answer was I do not know, but Cami had an excellent guess that it was the spider like collar shawl thing that I made because that is what I wear more than pretty much any other crocheted item I make. So, I mean, that's probably the best. It's a better guess than I could have guessed for myself. Um, so Cami did a fantastic job and made me realize that he knows me better than I know myself. Um, let me see. I feel like for you, Daniel. Oh man, this is again hard because I know what my favorite project of yours is, but I don't know if it's your favorite project. um, the one that's coming to mind for ooh, I love that. I love that. That's awesome, Kimmy. For Daniel, I think that the Kraken that you made, because you made one that was like watermelon colors, like it was the premier fruits, right? Um, and Froggy made like a blue one that was really awesome. But that's the project that stands out in my mind as like a whoa, like it's totally, you know, I I think it might just be my favorite. I don't know if it's your favorite, and I'm sure making all of those like tentacles and everything was, oh my gosh, yes. We're all best friends. We're all best friends. Also, look at my shirt. Speaking of, just I got this new Whitney Houston shirt. I love it, although I hate this color. It's so bad. It reminds me of like 90s Taco Bell. But it's worth it because it's a Whitney shirt, and you all know that I love Whitney Houston. Okay, so the next question is, so think about what I would say for myself, and then also think about what you would say for yourself for this question. Okay, so what is my least favorite value darn? I know my answer. Now I'm trying to think of yours. And Daniel, I also have to think about what access you have to yarn, and then also I just rarely see you use value yarn. So I'm trying to think. I'm gonna totally guess for you, Daniel. Um, for you, Daniel, I'm assuming that yours is Red Heart Super Saver again because I just don't know what you have access to. Um, but I think that you have very like I'm just getting the vibe that you have like very like sensitive fingers from using all of that wonderful wool that you use. That like dealing with Red Heart Super Saver would be like working with a Brillo pad. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. That's so cool. And then for Cami, I think you probably like Red Heart Super Saver, and I'm gonna guess that like a Caron 1 pound would be your least favorite. Um, wait, were you guessing for me, or were you guessing for your? Were you saying for yourself? Either way, we're both on the same page about something. Whether or not we were right, who knows? This is actually super fun. I'm having a great time. I hope you all are having a good time too. So, can you all guess what my least favorite value yarn is? If you want a hint, I will give you a hint. Is your favorite? Oh, you don't like Caron Simply Soft. That's fair. A lot of people don't. Um, yeah, I started using Caron 1 pound. I've grown away from it, but it's definitely not my least favorite. Um, but yeah, see if you can guess. If you can't, I will give you a hint. I have like a whole crate down here of Caron 1 pound, but I always forget about it because it's in a black crate. Also, I am making a pride top. This is for Mel, little rainbow titties. And then I am adjusting the band. So I just got the pattern for the cups, basically. I paid for this a long time ago. Really regret it. Have a lot of issues personally with it, but we're survivors. Um, Lion Brand, the Pound of Love is a very, very good guess. It is a very close second. It splits on me like crazy. It makes me so angry. I do have a nickname for it called Pound of Hate. I'm not the only one. Red Heart Super Saver in the solid colors. You are not correct. I used to hate it, but I've actually grown to like it enough. It does the job for value yarn. Um, my opinion is pretty controversial. I haven't heard anyone else say that they hate this value yarn. And I'm not trying to be like a hipster about it, like, "Whoa, my dislike of this yarn is so cool." But a lot of people really like this yarn, so when I ordered it, I thought that I was gonna love it, and it just turned out that that was not the case. Not the case at all. I hate this yarn. So, big twist. I actually use a lot of big twists. It's just so cheap that I have on. Like it is what you pay for. I mean, maybe it's a little bit more than what you pay for, but you know, um, it's just. I mean, it's not gonna be. It's just not. I'm not expecting it to be the highest, quality. So my least favorite value yarn is actually. No, I lost the name of it. Not Big Twist, damn it. Premier Basics. I hate that stuff. It's so bad. It splits on me. It does. And it's more expensive than any other value yarn, I think. And I just don't like it. I don't get why anyone would like it. It makes me mad when people talk good things about it because I'm like, it sucks. But, everyone's entitled to like what they like. And everyone opinions are like buttholes. Everyone has one, but most people have one. But I don't exclude the non-butthole people having here. Um, but yes, I do not like Premiere Basics. It just infuriates me, and I have quite a few skeins of it, and it pisses me off. Ugh. But it does work really well in the knitting machine, so at least there's that. Um, so yeah, oh, this is so fun learning about everybody. I love it. Just fun to hang out and talk to everyone. Okay, so the last question, and this might be hard because I haven't mentioned this in a while. If you were an early adopter of my page, you might have some inkling to this answer, but if you're newer, you might not know it at all. So, this this answer could go a couple ways. So there are multiple answers that you could give. So what expensive yarn have I had forever that I'm too nervous to use? Like I said, could go multiple ways. But the yarn that I'm thinking about is a very specific yarn that I have. You could give brand, you could give um, yarn content, you could give literally anything, and I would uh, probably give it to you. Also, if you have any expensive yarn, that you are too nervous to use, please let me know because I don't want to feel like the only crazy person out there who bought nice yarn. I did get it at a it wasn't a yard sale. It was just like a yarn stash clearing because somebody like I think their mom like owned a yarn shop and then she passed, and so the daughter was just trying to get rid of yarn. So I got it on a super good sale because your bro is cheap as hell. I have a couple different colors in it. Does my own yarn count? I think it absolutely does. Honestly, even though I only have dyed a little bit of cotton, it is it is very I don't want to use it. I don't know what to do. So I can only imagine if you have yarn that's like a little bit hard to frog and it's really nice yarn, you spend a lot of money on it, using it would be really scary. I get it. Cami, that is an amazing guess, but not it, unfortunately. Unfortunately, fortunately, I don't know. So the name of the brand, because it's a more pricey brand, it's not going to be something that you probably just pop out, but it is not cashmere. So it's no longer made, so that's an extra hiccup. I have a couple different colors. I have this color, which is like grays and blacks. It's gorgeous. It's also very sparkly. It's roving style. I love roving intensely. And I have a purple one. I have a gold and brown one that I made a hat for Bag a Day. And I tried to send her, this was like 2 years ago. I tried to send it to her. I didn't finish it off. So if she wanted to frog the whole thing and make something better, I was going to give her total creative liberty to just make something better than I could. Also, like knowing how much yarn I would need to finish the hat was a very tricky process. Um, but then use wool yarn I spun on my drop spindle. Yes, wool is scary. So this is Barraco. I never know how to say it. This is Brio. It is 49% wool, 48% acrylic, and then 3% other fiber, which I believe is the metallic. It is just stupid gorgeous. It's very soft. That doesn't have like any sparkle in it, but the rest of it does, I promise. I have the gold and brown one has gold sparkle in it. The purple one has like different shades of purple and it has silver sparkle in it. They are so beautiful, so precious to me. I can't bring myself to use them because they're discontinued and it freaks me the fuck out. Also, if you just answered wool, that would have been accurate. I have a couple hanks of wool yarn that I found at the scrap exchange, which is this kind of like a junk slash thrift store, and I have some hanks of wool yarn. I think they're also Barraco slash Barraco. How do you? I don't know how to say it. Um, but I I'm just too much of a scaredy cat to actually use them, even though they are not roving and they are much easier to use and everything. I just, if it's wool, is especially hard for me. I know that I talked on the last, I think it was the last podcast, I talked with Crystal about it because Crystal does a lot of spinning of wool yarn. And I'm like, I'm too freaking nervous to spin to use this like very like hard to frog special wool yarn. I'm too much of a scaredy cat, which may seem very stupid because it probably is, but I just, it's like very special to me because I pretty much just use value yarn. So it is, it's very, it's very, difficult for me. Um, but, you know, one day I'll get over it. Um, I believe that I have an inkling that Crystal is making me some yarn, and I'm not going to do her and her magical spinning abilities the disservice of not using that yarn. So I'm going to have to get over my yarn fear very soon. But yes, I get really, really nervous when I have to use wool yarn because it's so special to me. It's expensive. It's more expensive. It's I've never used cashmere or silk, so if I had cashmere or silk, I probably wouldn't have used it. So I think both of you had great guesses. Um, but yeah, that's the yarn that I've had for years and years and years and years, and I am just too much of a scaredy cat to use it myself. Which is embarrassing because it's really nice yarn. It would make some beautiful projects, but I'm just a scaredy cat. Mm. Do you all want to see the other colors? I can try to find them. I'm going to show you them anyways. I'm just going to finish this sewing this little part right here. Okay. Okay, so I have two of the gray and black. This one has like a little bit of purple in it. I don't know if you can see that, probably not. So these are both the same color, pretty much. There's like a little bit of like green tone in there as well. It's freaking pretty. Um, and then the sparkle in the purple one is actually like blue, like blue iridescent. So it's purple and green, which is ideal because they're gorgeous. It also has some like red tones in there. It's just so pretty. Um, and I this yarn is just like so special and beautiful to me. This is like the first expensive yarn I ever had, and it's too pretty to fuck with. So I'm so nervous about using it. Can you see the I feel like Crystal back a day was talking about how hard it was to spot good purples on camera, and I feel like that's definitely the case here. There's like periwinkle, and then there's more like violet colors, and then there's this green that pops through quite a bit. You can see that there's some more purple tones in there, and then there's like this like rusty red color that comes through just a little bit. So pretty. And then I don't know if you can see that blue shimmer. It's stupid gorgeous. You can find these occasionally on on like eBay or something, but they charge out the ass for them because they know they can. So this is the hat that I started to make Crystal. It's one of her patterns from a while ago. It's got some ribbing. The sizing really wasn't working for me, so that was another reason why. But like it has gold sparkle. If you know Crystal, you know that she loves browns, and I just thought this would be awesome. This is such a nice quality yarn. And I even left what was left over from this so that I could send it to her and just let her actually have fun with it. um, I did follow one of Crystal's patterns, and um, whenever I follow Crystal's patterns for hats, they are always way too big on me. So I don't know if I have a weird shaped head or Crystal has a slightly larger head than I do. I bet it's probably me because a lot of hat patterns don't fit me. But but yeah, so this is what I made. You know, you can see the ribbing, front post double crochets, and all of that stuff. Lots of cute details in this hat, and it goes from white to gold, brown, a little bit of gray tones in there, and then it has this like amazing, amazing gold shimmer to it. It's so pretty, and it's really fine shimmer as well. It's not. And so when you're working with it, some of the shimmer actually snaps. I think it's, or maybe it's just kind of in pieces in the as it was woven, but but it snaps, and so you actually kind of get this like really interesting kind of like sparkle halo to it, which I don't think I've ever seen in another yarn. I have a lot of sparkle yarn because I love sparkles because I'm a homosexual. What do you expect? And but I all of them have a thicker like strand of like Lurex, like metallic Lurex in them, and so when you're working with them, the Lurex tends to stay with the rest of the spun yarn, so it kind of works kind of like a double stranded yarn in how it looks. But this, it's just like it's almost like you just like whispered some gold sparkle on top of it. It is gorgeous, and I wanted to send it to Crystal so bad, but I was also really embarrassed because it doesn't. I'm just not sure it will fit, and that makes me really nervous to try to like send Crystal a hat that's not like that her pattern that I kind of fucked up. That would be nerve wracking. But that was a couple years ago, so maybe if I retried it, I still don't have Crystal's address. I know some of you do, but because Crystal has not given me her address and has explicitly told me and other people that she does not want gifts, I wouldn't disrespect that from her. But it is really pretty yarn, and I'm obsessed with it. So, Cami, when you did your drop spindle yarn, um, what uh, what kind of project, like what kind of yarn were you doing? Was it already dyed? Or were you going to dye it afterwards? I mean, most people dye, I guess, before. Or did you like buy some like unspun colored wool that was solid or a couple colors? Tell me a little bit about that because I'm very interested. But I appreciate you all playing this game with me. Some of these lives and pre-recorded videos in May are going to be shorter, some of them are going to be longer, and we're just going to have a good time. I'm going to try to stick to a schedule, roughly so that, we can come to expect that I will show up every day in May and put out a video, whether it's live or whether it's pre-recorded. And we're just gonna have a good time getting to know each other, talking about tips and tricks we've learned along the way. It's gonna be mostly about crochet, but it's also gonna be about other stuff. I mean, tomorrow, I'm gonna focus on some of it was dyed. There's some natural colors of the sheep, and I didn't buy any of it because my cousin gave it to you for free. Whoa, that is so cool! Not just the free part, but the just like the dyeing process and stuff like that. Very, very, very cool. Okay, so that's cool. Yeah, I'm getting into the dyeing process myself, but I'm using cotton, and it's pretty intimidating. The whole thing is pretty intimidating because you have all this like beautiful natural fiber, or natural-ish fiber in my case, because it's bleached white. But anyways, something is itching the back of my leg. It's like a hair fiber that just got caught on the back of my leg. Okay, so that's so cool, Cami. But yeah, I would be super nervous about using that as well. Like I said, if the more effort and price and all of that that goes into a yarn, the more nervous I am about using it. And I just really get in my head and I'm like, I'm gonna fuck this up. I'm not gonna be able to frog it. Then I'm gonna lose this really nice, fancy yarn that I have, and I'm gonna suck. So, I would say, be confident in what you're doing and your skill and your ability, but I can't take my own advice, so don't listen to me. I really can't see what I've done. But this was fun. If you have any ideas for what you want to see for the rest of the Everyday in May series, let me know. Today is learning about, do you know things about me that um, related to crochet. Tomorrow will be more personal things. It's just a handful of questions, just like it was today. I don't think we'll be able to have the same types of conversations. Maybe, especially some of the questions are very personal to me. But if you want to answer anything, you're always welcome to. I love learning about you all. And then the third day is what I wish I would have known when I started crocheting. And I think that this would be a great conversation to have because there's so many things that like I think that when we start, we're just so overwhelmed with the fantasy and the all the ideas that we have and all the things we've seen other people make and all the patterns available online and all of that stuff that it gets really really overwhelming. And I think it happens to everyone, or we spend too much money at first and we're like, wow, I wish I did not spend that much money on this particular thing because it's not really helpful to me or whatever. So I think May 3rd, I don't even know what fucking month it is, will be a great conversation to have not only for beginners, but also for us to reflect as seasoned vets of the crochet game and fiber arts game to talk about things that we wish we knew because there might be some things that we still don't know, and hearing other people talk about them might actually be super helpful. So I can't wait to talk to you all more. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for answering the questions. I thought this was super fun. I'm going to try to think of more topics where we can have more of a dialogue like this rather than it just being about me because honestly, I find that very boring and I'm sure anyone else would too. Um, so yes. So I will talk to you all later. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I hope you have a good